Hey guys, and welcome. So in this case study, I'm just about to break down exactly how one of my clients, Brad, went from struggling to make £5,000 every single month to being able to make £50,000 in a single month, all within 5 months of starting with me. I wanted to bring you this case study because I know what it's like, and I've come across so many people now, and I've coached so many people that have been putting in the work. They've invested lots of money, they've invested in all the different types of coaches and mentorships, and even with all of that, they're still not reaping the rewards. Okay, they're still not seeing the rewards for all of the effort they're putting in. Brad was no different from that. Brad worked with a couple of high-level people before he came with me. People perceived probably more credible than me within the marketplace based on the size of their brand, so on and so forth. With that being said, it's the system. It's finding something that works for you. And I genuinely believe out of the £100,000 that I've invested of my own money over the last 3 years, investing into different coaches, into different strategies, into different ways of generating consistent cash flow for a coaching business, I genuinely do feel I've got something that's very reliable, it's very predictable, and it doesn't matter if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an agency owner, you're a course creator. If you use this system, you will start to make money. Okay, you don't have to keep struggling. There are ways out there where you can make good money, you can attract dream clients, you get to do really fulfilling work, and you don't have to overwork yourself. You don't have to hustle and grind to make this thing work. Okay, so I'm just going to break it down to you right now and really just bring you the system just so that you can see for yourself exactly what goes in to help you, in like Brad's case there, to be able to 10x your revenue in just 5 months. Okay, so let's get into it. So how did Brad go from undercharging, struggling to make 5K per month, all the way up to being able to make £50,000 in a single month, all within 5 months? Okay, so I've just put in a little screen grab there because it just wasn't that he had a 50K month. It was a phenomenal month in many, many different aspects of his life. Okay, so he actually had his record month for £50,000. He also got engaged. One of his clients that he brought on was a big music artist out of the UK. His followers went up by 3,000 people on Instagram. He had a record-breaking month with one of his pieces of content. He got 2.2 million views, and he was actually able to, secure his move out of the UK and head over to Spain. He took his girlfriend and his parents with him, all off of the back of the work that we'd done together in those first 5 months. Okay, so we took him from struggling to make 5K per month to hitting 50K, got engaged, 3,000 growth, went viral, moved to Spain, secured an incredible villa, and his life just changed dramatically. And that is, I genuinely believe this, I'm not just saying this, but I genuinely believe that type of transformation is available to absolutely everybody once you've got the right system and you commit to making it work. So if you're a coach, you're an online service provider, agency owner, course creator, if you're putting in the work, you're not seeing the reward, you've invested countless mentorship programs, but you've still not quite seen any real growth within your business. If you find yourself stuck somewhere between $3,000 to $10,000 per month, regardless of what you do, regardless of how many different mentors or masterminds or courses you invest into, but you still don't seem to be able to break past the $3,000 to $10,000 per month mark, then listen up, because I'm just about to break down the exact system of how you can break through this in as little as 4 to 12 weeks. Okay, just as Brad did. So Brad actually went on to make £20,000 in his first 3 weeks. Okay, and then he went on to make 26,000 in the second month, 127,000 within the 5 months, including his 50,000 record month. Okay, so his life changed very, very quickly. But before I get into that, I just thought it'd be good for me to share a little bit of background about me, who I am, and what I'm all about. So my name is Shane Harper, grew up in Plymouth in the southwest of England. I'll be honest, I had a bit of a troubled youth, nothing with the law or anything like that. I was a little shit. But there were a couple of things that I went through with some sexual assault incidents, one when I was 6, one when I was 13. 2 people to me, very close to me died in quite tragic circumstances, really were quite shocking. And there was a lot of negativity within my family, a little bit of domestic violence, some alcohol, some not nice stuff. Yeah, a lot of shit around money. It was a sore topic in the house, shall we say. So by the time I was 12, I started smoking cigarettes. By the time I was 13, I was smoking weed. By 16, I was taking ecstasy, cocaine, drinking alcohol, and I was pretty much using, substances as a way to escape my reality. Okay, I wasn't really very happy in the life that I'd found myself living. Okay. I actually used to work construction for around 17 years, for the majority of my adult life, around 15 years, in fact. But the theme of my life was pretty much live for the weekend. Okay, so I had, drug and alcohol dependency, couldn't go out without doing it. I'm just going out for one, and then I'd be out for a weekend. I'd pretty much spend all my money doing that. It's just literally living weekend to weekend, just a typical lad's kind of lifestyle, you would call it. But I also had many failed relationships. Nothing I ever did, nobody ever found, ever, I didn't really have healthy relationships, probably, as now I understand from my past, would have had a big influence on that. And I could never just work out what I wanted to do with my life. So even though I was in construction, I bounced around from job to job, and I just never had any fulfillment, never had any satisfaction, just kind of resented the life that I created for myself. I was very much a lost soul, unhappy with the life I created for myself. And in all honesty, I was pretty pissed off with the world. Do you mean I could never seem to catch a break? And my way of dealing with it was just to go out, get off my head on the weekend and just escape it, and then just live through the pain Monday to Friday, and then get to the weekend and escape for just a few hours. But something I did always know is I didn't want to grow old in England. I did want to live in a tropical climate. I just don't enjoy the cold. I always knew that. So when I was 28, I actually traveled to Australia for 8 months. And then when I was 31, I went to Southeast Asia, and it was actually during a trip in Southeast Asia that's where it literally changed my life. Okay, so I was actually sitting on a beach in Phuket with then my ex-girlfriend, and it was just another relationship falling apart. And it was a heat of the moment thing that she said, but it was like a sentence that was a catalyst that literally changed my life. And she just simply said to me, Shane, you're 31 years old, and anyone who gets close to you, you just push away. I just think you're incapable of love. And to be honest, it did genuinely hit me like a ton of bricks, because I had this realization that I was 31, and any relationship I did get into, anybody that got close to me, I did end up pushing away. And I thought very much she may have a point here. So I kind of realized that it was me, like I was the problem. Okay, I was always the victim. Do you know what I mean? Things was always happening to me, never for me. And I was waiting for my life to change, and then for things to just get better magically, as many people do. But I needed to change, and I realized that I needed to change because I just didn't want to carry on living like that. So 4 months later, when I returned to England, I went and put myself into therapy. I then started reading self-help books and spirituality books, then finance books, and I literally just become obsessed with self-growth, with self kind of understanding myself, and didn't really give space to anything other than what was going to make me feel good. Okay, so I was actually able to step away from my previous lifestyle, didn't need the substances or the alcohol anymore to try and make me feel something, and I just started to understand me. I just started to heal myself, and then that kind of transferred into work. So I ended up getting promoted. I was able to save some money, bought my first house, had a really good relationship with with a girlfriend. But even with all of that, living a lifestyle where pretty much people would say, that's a good life. You've got like house, you're on the property ladder, you got a fucking job, you're in a management role, a beautiful relationship. Even with all of that, I still felt unhappy. I still just didn't feel like the life I was living was right for me. There was just still this void inside of me. So one of the things was I didn't like the fact that I was going to work for 45 hours a week, and I had so little money left over after paying all my bills. And I just didn't want to go another, 35 years of my life, whatever it would be, until I retire, living this way. So I started looking for different ways to make some money online. So initially I tried being a independent travel agent. Didn't go to plan. Then started to try to learn Forex. That was very unsuccessful. I actually finished that after 6 months of that. I finished with less money than I started. And then I found a mentor. He helped me to basically understand something about myself I never understood before, and that was my true values, my highest values. So once I found these out, it kind of gave me a complete clarity on who I was, like internally. So like what my core values were. And then once I found these out, it kind of just gave me complete clarity just on who I was. It was the first time I really understood, like, what do I actually value? Nobody had ever asked me like this sequence of questions before. So it just gave me so much clarity on who I actually was. What I realized is that the voids from my childhood had actually become the values that I had. So the reason I love helping people overcome challenges, because of the challenging circumstances that were sometimes in the house between my parents. So trying to be a peacemaker, and then I was always trying to like give advice to people outside of that. Just my day-to-day life. I love learning things. I love sharing what I learn with other people. Always have done, regardless of what I'm interested in. I'll just become obsessed with it. I just start learning about it, and then once I learn about it, I want to share it with other people and educate other people. Then there's also, not like many people, not like having a boss, wanting to be in control of your own life. I didn't really like always being told where I had to be, what I was worth, when I could have time off, just very little freedom of choice, just being forced to be in a situation, regardless if you wanted to be there or not. And it never sat right with me. And what I kind of realized is I had this unrealized entrepreneur within me. So one of the processes my first mentor helped me with was he helped me understand that, like, when I go places, I am thinking like, is this place making money? How much are they turning over? What's the profit margins? And whether I was in a restaurant, whether I was at a festival, my mind would always go to the profitability, to the business aspect of things. He helped me realize like you're very much entrepreneur in your mind if you're thinking about these things. But because I had like never gone to university, I didn't particularly do good in school. I didn't think I was a business owner, so to speak, because of my grades, because of my academics. But the way my mind works, the way my mind operates actually, and what I'm actually drawn towards and focused on is very much entrepreneurial. And that was a massive realization for me. It was a massive like kind of permission slip for me to just go for this thing. And I always knew I wanted to make a lot of money and be financially secure. And that again come from the absence of money. And I wanted to be able to make money, live a good life for myself, and then provide for my family. So the highest values were summarized by that in personal growth, which is also like freedom and lifestyle, but then also business and making money. And ever since that day, ever since I had that realization, if you were to follow me around, you'd see I've just committed my life to absolutely living to these values each and every day. And by doing so, it's completely transformed my life, the way I get to live my life, the amount of money I make, the impact I have, the sense of gratitude and fulfillment and inspiration I get to do what I do as a job. It all started from that one process. So my decision was to become a coach, empower these areas and to also help empower the areas of other people's lives. So after 9 months of studying, I launched my business. Within my first 3 weeks, I made £7,200. In the following 4 weeks after that, I made another 5,000. After 4 months, I quit my job. 7 weeks after that, I was on a plane. I was leaving England and I headed to Thailand. And then in the last 5 years, I've been able to make £500,000 in personal income, travel to 12 countries, typically always working less than 25 hours a week. And collectively, me and my clients have generated over 7.8 million. So it's pretty remarkable turnaround in comparison to where I was at the start of my 30s to where I was at the end of my 30s. But that just really came from just understanding me and just making a decision of what I was going to do and pretty much just committed my life to doing this. So that's a little bit about me. So hopefully you understand a little bit about where I'm from. I'm not one of these guys that have just kind of rolled into the online space. I've had a colorful past, shall we say. Pretty much, I'm sure you'd agree with me. I wasn't necessarily created to be a successful human being. And I very much had to work for this. And I had to, do a lot of work within myself, develop a lot of skill sets, develop my mindset, but just use that as a testament to, wherever you are, wherever you're going through, your backstory doesn't matter. You can go out and you can create something very, very impactful and you can change your lives. You can change the lives of hundreds of people. You really, really can. But I will be completely honest. I've not personally had to go through times of struggle with my business. And I've always been able to attract clients, make money, and I've been able to upgrade my lifestyle and just really, live a life without limits, which is one of my mottos. But also, so have my clients. And are we anything special? You're probably thinking, do we have something that you don't? Honest answer is no, not at all. A case of like we're just anything special. It comes down to the information you have and then what you do with that information. So business really is a simple game when you understand the rules of the game. Okay. And if you have an understanding of the rules of the games and you have the strategies, you will win the game. Okay. So what I focus all of my time, energy, attention on, and I've invested over £100,000 into learning this, was just the core components of making money as a service provider. And I wanted to just have as much time freedom and, financial freedom as I possibly could. I just wanted to be able to live a life with, just full of experiences. I worked 15 years in construction. I had a couple of years where I've done some other jobs, but I never really had any freedom. Maybe one holiday a year if I was lucky, a couple of weeks off over the Christmas period. But outside of that, no freedom. Just trading my time for money and getting very little time to actually do the things that I wanted to do with my life. So the things that I've ended up in specializing and developing over the last 3 years. Okay, so one of the things I'm absolutely masterful in is building insane offers that people just want to buy and they're happy to pay a premium price for. I really have nailed the high ticket pricing, offer creation, and just being able to stack up the value and present it and pitch it in such a way where people just never even question the price. And, my prices go all the way up to, $25,000. And I've just never struggled to sell my service regardless of the price point that I attach to it. And one of the things I help my clients with, even Brad, was increasing the price, charge a higher price point, improve your offer. People are happy to pay a higher price for it. You need less yeses to make more money. It's a win-win. I specialize in positioning people as an authority, okay, in their industry and as an expert, okay? Regardless of where you're starting out, there is ways to manufacture you being perceived and received perceived as a credible authority, okay, as an industry expert. One of the other things I specialize in is attracting your target audience and generating qualified leads. Okay, I'm very much against the hustle and grind culture. Work smart, not hard, and make sure you're targeting the right audience, make sure you're attracting the right audience, and make sure that people are qualified so that you are spending as little time with the wrong people, over investing into the wrong people, and as a result of that, they just become overwhelmed, burnt out, and a little bit resentful of their business. Completely unnecessary when you know how to overcome it. How to build an affinity and a personal connection with your audience. One of those things is sharing your story. Do you mean just you being your true, authentic self? You living with integrity and just really showing up in your true, authentic, powerful self, being unapologetic about that, and just letting people see who you are as an individual. And that really helps create that personal connection between you and your audience that you need. Increasing your price points, already just covered that briefly. Really lean business model. I have actually struggled with periods of time where I decreased my profit margins by overindulging into different parts of the business, whether it be ads, whether it was team and stuff like that, and the profit margins suffered. But just being able to lean it all the way back, get 90% profit margins, not needing a big team, not having big overheads, absolutely something we specialize in. How to clear internal limitations and upgrade your identity. That's a big part. What people allow themselves to achieve is based on their internal dialogue and their identity. So we help you clear all of your limitations, upgrade your identity so that you can really show up as your true kind of highest version of self. And then just how to create a life by design. Okay, so if you want to live your dream life, we will help you get super clear on what that dream life actually looks like, what it would cost you to live it. We'll factor in your prices, your conversion rates, and we will literally give you a step-by-step roadmap to going out and making it happen for yourself. And this is the thing, when you've got the right positioning and you are established, or you create your credibility, when you've got the right people being attracted into your world with the right messaging, and then having the right digital assets and the right leverage to be able to do a lot of the heavy lifting and pretty much pre-sell your service for you, when you have the ability to form genuine actual connections with your audience, with the right offer communicated to them in the right way, and the ability to sell this offer on repeat, making sure that your mindset and your identity are on point. If you have just those few points, then this will unlock a whole new way of you getting to experience your life, and you will actually create your dream life in rapid time. You can really see significant growth, not just within your business, but within yourself once you've got all of these dialed in. And just like we've helped Luana to use this system, we took Luana from, she's struggling to make consistent 10K month, and she's come in and we took her from 10K months all the way up to 132,000 in a single month. She typically works less than 15 hours a week. And we've also got Becky. So with Becky, she came to me brand new. I have been trying to make money online for, I think about 18 months, if I remember correctly. Took her from zero. She made actually 8K in her first 8 weeks. She then retired her husband within 6 months, and then she grew her business to £24,000 a month. And, just really has completely changed her life. She's been able to travel, homeschool her children, just absolutely lives out her dream life each and every day. We've also got Gary. So Gary came to me and he, struggling to get anywhere with his business, really. He'd been in the online space for about 3 years and never really got any traction. Went out, he was in a business, he went off by himself, and then within just a few short months, we took him from zero all the way up to making £35,000 a month with his business. And he's also been able to semi-retire his wife, so he gets to spend more time with his wife, more time with his his little baby boy, and he's just living out his dream life. Also, we got Sam. So Sam was struggling to make $5,000 every single month. Learned this system. We took him from $5,000 to $30,000 within 8 weeks of starting with me. We got Talia. So with Talia, she came to me struggling to make 5K per month as well, just the same as Sam. And then with just a few short months implementing my system, she was able to grow to $30,000 per month. She was actually able to leave America as well and go traveling to Costa Rica. And we've got Aoife. Aoife came to me making 10K per month. We took her from 10K to consistent 30K per month, and she even had a record €38,000 a month. And she typically works 20 hours a week and spends much more time with her daughter, which was our goal, to be able to be there and be a very present figure. We've also got Natasha. So with Natasha, she came to me and she was just about to leave her high-paying corporate job. She wanted to move into the coaching space, and then within just 4 short months, we took her from zero to being able to make €26,000 in a single month. And then we got Nikki. So Nikki had been in business for 6 years before she started working with me. She was making consistently around $6,000 every single month. Then within 6 months of starting with me, we took her from $6,000 all the way up to $37,000 per month. again, increasing her price point, just giving her the right system, giving her the right strategy, giving her the right support, and then just dramatically just being able to scale the amount of money that she's making. And then also we've got Dante and Vicky. Dante and Vicky were both making absolutely zero and really struggling, but they wanted to leave the UK. They wanted to homeschool their children. They wanted to go out and travel. Within their first 4 weeks each, they both made 4.5 and 5,000 each respectively. And then we combined their offers together. Vicky was a life coach. Dante done digital marketing. We put their offer together, launched a new offer. On the day of the launch, they had a £10,000 day and ended up making $39,000 in just 15 weeks. Okay. And that is the power of the system that we're talking about here. Doesn't matter what niche you're in, doesn't matter, kind of where you're at or what you've been doing or who you've invested in before. We've just found something that works here and it just consistently works. And as you've just seen that, even for people that have been putting in the work and not being able to get results, their life can change very, very quickly in just a few short weeks. And that's the reality. Most people come to me feeling very frustrated by their current situation. They've invested huge amounts of money, okay, like many of us have. They've been putting in the work, implementing what they've been taught previously. They've committed their life to making their dreams reality. But despite all of that, they're just not making any money. And if they are making money, it's very little money, or they're unable to move past 10K per month. Okay, they're all stuck under that 10K per month mark. But as soon as they learn the limitless formula, as soon as they plug in my hybrid growth strategies, they start making 5, 10, 20K, even 50K in their first month. Okay, and then within 6 to 16 weeks, they've all grown their business and the revenue by at least 3 times, sometimes up to 10 times. And the majority of them, bar just a couple who've used my inbound lead strategy, which is only £1,000 a month, $1,000 a month. Okay, but literally 95% of the results I've got for people are all organically, all without any paid advertisement or lead generation. So how did I make this happen for Brad specifically? Okay, how a coach of 2 years before working with me who was struggling to make any money, how was he able to make 20,000 in his first 3 weeks and then 127,000 within 5 months of starting with me? What did we actually do to go into that? What we first done with Brad is we looked at his offer and we helped him to improve it. Okay, he was massively undercharging and it needed to become more valuable. Okay, people weren't going to see him credible because he was charging a small amount for it and he was trying to select to the wrong audience of people. Okay, so all we done is we switched it up. We gave him specific higher caliber clients that he could go and target and he could talk to and he could attract. And what we done is we increased his price point from 2,000 up to 5,000. Okay, and that's what we kind of done for the first 2 months. We kept it at that price point, and then after that we increased it to £7,000 for each of them. What we also did is I gave him a sales one pager. Okay, so I gave him a sales one pager which allowed him to present his offer in such a way that it just flowed and it really just sold the destination. Okay, it showed the process, it showed how he's going to help them overcome challenges, but it was really heavily focused on selling the outcome. And that's what people are buying into. And we also just have to shift his mindset, okay? Shift his identity and shift his worthiness of the higher price point, okay? Because quite often not, people keep their prices down because they don't think they're good enough or worthy enough or know enough to charge the higher price points. But what we consistently do is we will get you charging the highest price point you can based on your skill set, but also based on the outcomes that you're helping people to achieve, okay? So that's what we do. We increase offers and we give you processes to help you with your identity, to help you with your mindset, to help you with your kind of worthiness around that. And then we give you the strategies and the frameworks to make selling this super, super easy. Also, what we do is we run a promo cycle. Now, the reason I like this so much is because you will run a promo cycle and there will be 5 spots available and you don't have to go out and attract anybody new into your audience, okay? So when we do this, you're actually going to go out and make sales with people that are already in your audience. And in all cases, you will have sales in your audience. You just don't know how to extract them at the moment, okay? And this promo cycle that we've got helps with that. So we run a promo cycle where there's 5 spots available, okay, at a slightly discounted price, okay? And now the way we present the offer is we stack up the value of the offer. So the offer, even if it was at 5K, it looks like it should be a 15K offer, but today you can get in at 5K, okay? We run a 14-day, we give him a content template so he can create an enticing and convert in promo cycle. We then run a 14-day promo cycle across all of their channels, okay? And then what we also do is give a DM framework and then build a Dream 50 list. So publicly, we are promoting an insane offer, okay, where it's huge value for money and we're really heavily focused on the outcomes, but we're really poking at the pains and the challenges and the obstacles of people. And we're just letting them know what this thing is going to help them to achieve and what it's going to help them to overcome. We run that for 2 weeks and, there's specific persuasion and influence and scarcity and, urgency all within the promo cycle. But then it's the work that also happens in the background, okay, behind the scenes, okay? So we've got DM frameworks where you can be reaching out to people where you can be initiating conversations or restarting conversations and just warming people back up. And then we build a list of the 50 warmest prospects from his profile. And then from that, that's where the sales will always happen. And typically what we see is 5 to 8 sales coming off of one of these promo cycles. Okay. So this is why you'll see Luana, who had like a 54K in her first week. This is why you'll see, someone like Brad, who had a 20K in his first 4 weeks. It'll all come off running this promo cycle. And like I said, the best part about it is you do not need to go and find anybody new. They're already there. They're already in your pipeline. And this will just extract them and convert them. So simply by doing this, Brad made £20,000 in his first 3 weeks. And then some of that rolled over into the second month. And then he hit £26,000 in the second month. Okay. And it just blew his mind how fast this had happened, because he was incredibly disciplined. He was incredibly hardworking. He was putting out like 127 pieces of content, something fucking crazy like that. So he was very present on social media. He was very active, but his bank was not reflecting the effort that he was putting in there. So for him to get these results in the first 8 weeks was, mind blowing to him, but fully justified. And then just as we continued our time together, we installed a very simple and predictable system. It's called the Limitless Hybrid Growth Formula into his business. Now that is a system where the growth fuels the growth. Okay. It's a flywheel system. So as the business grows, we start to use a little bit of the money, we put it back into the business, and the growth fuels the growth. Okay. But we initially go and get big cash injections off of organic strategies. And then once we've got that, we then basically start to use some of that, and we grow and we expand, and we just, really make the business as optimized as possible, as automated as possible, and as, leveraged as possible, so that you've got maximum profitability, but minimum kind of input, and you can start to work on the business, not always in the business. Okay. So the system is as follows. So we just very, very simply optimize social media. Okay. So whether that's your Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. Okay. But we fully optimize it, and we set it up so that you can be seen as credible, authoritative, very clear marketing message, social proof, links for lead magnets, everything fully optimized and in place, because first impressions really, really do matter. Then the other thing we do with our clients, and, Brad in particular here, is we get them, a lot of clarity on the exact strategy and the sales process. Okay. So they just understand it, and it just flows for them, because they just understand there's almost like stepping stones. It's just, there's no complexity here, super simple. And it's just very much a case of making sure that each step goes on to the next step, to the next step, and to the next step. And if you do that, that takes somebody through their entire buyer's journey in the most easy and effortless way, without you constantly having to take somebody from a cold to a sold and kind of, force it on them, and then triggering sales resistance, and then kind of losing all of the rapport that you've been able to connect with that person. We do use boosted posts to attract new followers. Again, that's part of the growth flywheel system. So we take $1,000 out of the money that you're making for the business, and we basically put that back into a follower ad to get new people coming to you and coming into your world. And then we give you a content and a story strategy. So that's particular content strategy, story selling, helping you to create an affinity and connection and showcase who you are, your personality, your traits, your interests, your unique perspectives. And, between those two, that's really allowing people to see not just your expertise, but also your personality. Okay. So it's a two-edged sword there. The DM framework is super, super important. And that's just really, again, the DM framework is essentially to take somebody across the stepping stones. Okay. So it's to take you from one stone to the next stone to the next stone. So that's from the connection, establishing the rapport, getting them into your lead magnet, creating the sales opportunities, DM selling, sales call selling, whatever it is. Okay. But the DM framework is the thing that just gets, and we just nudge people along and we take them through that journey. Okay. Get people into the lead magnets, and the lead magnet does a lot of the heavy lifting. Okay. So, we create a funnel, and that does the nurturing, the pre-selling, the pre-educating, helps them to, preempts certain things so we can overcome objections before they even become objections. So a lot of things happen within that lead magnet with the way that we set it up. We use digital assets, videos, and copywriting, and testimonials, and case studies, and all shit like that. And once all of that's in place, it really does do a lot of the selling, so that when you actually come to the sales conversation, it's more of a conversion and conversation rather than a sales conversation. We set things up so you can get automated low ticket sales. You don't take sales calls or overinvest your time unnecessarily into trying to convert low ticket sales, but you do want to have a low ticket offer. That's one of the things we set up for people. Not everybody's going to have the money to do the high ticket, understandable and to be expected, to be fair. So what we do is we make sure we've got a really good solid downsell for them, so we can still get a conversion, and then maybe one day we can work towards getting an upsell from them. We always increase the price point of the service, always do that, simply because most people are undercharging. And when you do increase your price point, and when you do understand how you can create a more valuable service with more inclusions and bonuses, and more value beyond beyond what you're currently doing, people like that. People like value for money. And even if it's a higher price point, but they're getting more for their money, people like it and they just pay the high ticket prices. Okay. Making sure we've got the sales frameworks. Okay. So whether that's DM selling or, on a sales call, and then just follow-up processes. Look, not everybody's going to buy initially right off the bat. I wish it was the case, but it's not. So just making sure that you've got solid follow-up frameworks and processes, which we give. And when you've got that just makes sure that people don't slip through the cracks. Okay. That makes sure you're converting as many of your warm leads into high ticket paying clients or low ticket clients as possible. That's the system overview. And when you've kind of got all of those in place and it just flows, you'll end up with, typically 2 high ticket sales every single week. And, the goal is really to get you a daily automated low ticket sale as well. And when you got that in place, that's where you can start getting those 20, 30K cash months. So that's literally all it took to take Brad from struggling to make 5K per month to hitting a record 50K month within 5 months of working with me. And, just to quickly go over it again, because I went through it a bit quick. So optimize social media, clarity on the exact strategy. Okay. So each and every client that works with us, just as we did with Brad, is making sure he understands the process. He understands the strategy so he can take people through it in the most optimal way. And he's not confused by anything. Okay. We boosted a post to get some new followers to come in. Okay. We give him a content strategy and we give him a story strategy as well. Okay. So he can, nurture and, position himself as an absolute A player and an expert and an authority. Then also how to operate on stories, how to use stories to get people into lead magnets and create sales opportunities. Okay. We got the DM framework that's building the personal connection, but also nudging people through their buyer's journey to, again, create the sales opportunities and nudging them into the lead magnet. The lead magnet does a lot of the heavy lifting. We set up digital assets and funnels and copywriting that do a lot of the hard work, and it will either book you sales calls or convert as well. Automated low ticket sales will always help increase the price point of our client services. If that can be done. Sometimes people may be overcharging. Typically it's not. People are always the other way and undercharging, but we will help you to charge the most amount of money that you can, and we will help you to add value to your service so that is a feasible option for you. Okay. Given a sales framework, DM closing frameworks and follow-up processes. And once you've got that dialed in, once you've got that nailed, just as Brad done, you can go from struggling to make consistent money to making life-changing money in just a few short months. Okay. Making money as a service provider does not have to be hard. It doesn't have to be the hustling grind. Okay. You don't have to live month to month. You don't have to be barely surviving. It's completely unnecessary once you've got the right system in place. Okay. Regardless of what you've been going through previously. Okay. So Limitless Hybrid Growth Funnel focuses on the core areas that print cash on demand for online service providers without needing to trade your time for money or have high overheads. Very, very simply, what does this system do for you? It helps you make money initially. Okay. Then we reinvest a small percentage of that. And then from that, you start keeping money, and then you start growing money, compounding money. Okay. That's the system. Okay. Make money, keep money, grow money. So how does this break down? So you've got the top of the funnel. Okay. So very, very simply, what is your messaging? Okay. Who is your target audience? Okay. And then all we need to do is have a highly in-demand, high ticket offer for high cash flow. Okay. So that's got to be leveraged in the delivery. Okay. You can't be trading your time for money. That's not scalable. And there's only so many hours in a day. And that means there's only so many clients that you can work with as well. So you want to make sure you've got something that you can consistently put people in there, and there's not going to be a glass ceiling that gets hit. And then just making sure you've got a low ticket option as a downsell, and that's going to help you build your monthly recurring revenue. Okay. So the targeted follower ad is around $30 a day, which is about $900 a month. We initially start with 2 creatives, do a little split test, and whichever one pops off the best, we run with that. And quite simply, all we do when they come into our world, we qualify them, we add significant value, and then we do a call to action, speaking to people's aspirations. Okay, that's simply all it takes when they first come into your world. We're looking for 5 to 20 new followers a day, and then all we need to do is track the cost of the per qualified follower / lead. Okay, so we're not really looking for virality, we're looking for conversions. Okay, we're looking for not the vanity metrics. We're looking for the things that actually matter. Okay, and it's, are you onboarding clients that you want to work with, and are you making money? So with the optimized profile, it's quite simply having the right bio, having the right story highlights set up. So that's social proof, that's lifestyle, that's long form free trainings, those type of things. Within your pin post, it's making sure you've got information around your offer, case studies, something about your story, story as well. First impressions really do matter. So when you've got your profile optimized in that way, it's ticking all the right boxes. You produce daily content, and that's videos, that's written content, and it's simply showing your passions, your interests, your perspectives, and your opinions, and you help to create an affinity with your audience. And then we pump out 2 long form pieces of content every single week. The more time people spend consuming you, the more people spend learning from you, the more value you give to them on the front end, the more they trust you, and the easier it is to convert them into the high ticket service after that. And that's when we move them into the middle of the funnel. Okay, so within that, we've got a very high value training where we're selling the outcome, and it's just littered with social proof. Okay, so we're getting people into your lead magnets, and then how do we do that? We plug them into your stories and into your DM chats. Okay, so all roads lead into your lead magnet, into your VSL. Okay, the more people that get into there, the more sales you're going to make. Okay, so just let people know what it is, what it's going to teach them, and how it will help them, and what it's going to help them to achieve. Okay, if people know what it is, what they're going to get from it, and what it's going to help them to achieve, there's a higher likelihood that they're going to click through and they're going to go and consume it. Okay, because it's in their benefit to do so. After 72 hours, you can follow up with them if they haven't already booked in. Okay, and the goal of your lead magnet is to get them to know you, to like you, and to trust you. Okay, that's all we got to do. And they've also got to believe in you. Okay, that's really important. Do they believe you're credible? Do they believe that you're the best option for them? Do they believe that you can actually get them the results that you say you can get them? Okay, super, super important. So you don't have to sell the product or the offer and all of its inclusions. Yes, that's a factor in it, and there's a time and a place, and we send that to them. But the bulk of the work is always going to be kind of an us versus them. There's an old way versus the new way, and you've got the new way. Okay, but also you share your stories so that you can create that personal connection with your audience. Okay, and then it's also your social proof. Okay, that's super, super important. If they can see that you've helped other people just like them from a similar situation, one to create incredible results, it's going to make them trust that you can do that for them as well. And finally, you always sell the outcome. You always sell the destination. Okay, that's where they're trying to get to, so that's what you sell them. Okay, you don't sell them the plane ride, you sell them the beach, you sell them the 5-star vacation and resort. Okay, so the middle of the funnel is to build a know, like, and trust, to nurture your prospects and to get them pre-sold on who you are, what you do, and what you can do for them. Okay, so the middle of the funnel is the most profound part. Okay, this is the part that really has the most significant impact, and this is the part that does most of the heavy lifting. Look, getting people into your world is one thing, and it's, that's not too difficult. Converting that attention, converting that new stranger, getting them into your world, and then being able to, in a very leveraged way, get them bought into you and what you can do for them and where you can take them. That all happens in the middle of the funnel with how we set things up. And then the bottom of the funnel is just to connect, qualify, and convert. Okay, it's crossing the T's and it's dotting the I's. Okay, so you're just going to reach out and engage with anyone who follows you. You connect, you open, build rapport, you qualify, and then you sell. And you can do that by call or by chat. Okay, so really the bottom of the funnel is they come into your world, they're aware of who you are, you've built a basic connection with them, you've got to know them a little bit on a personal level, you've put them into the funnel, they're going through the digital assets, they're watching the videos, they're consuming everything there. Your job is just to basically be present and just, maintain that connection with them, maintain those touch points with them in the chat, and then to get the conversion. Okay, so just get people into your funnel, collect the emails, and they're copying the videos, do the nurturing, selling, and it does all of the heavy lifting. And then the result of that, a couple of high ticket sales every single week being converted into your service. And look, the reality is, in a short space of time, if you have the right system, if you have the right guidance, you can be banking minimum $10,000 in as little as 45 days. Okay, you can be making 20 to 30K cash every single month, and that's cash. That's not sales value. That's cash in your bank. But anybody that tells you otherwise, they're doing so because they simply do not understand the rules of the game. Okay, they don't understand how to win, so they don't know how to achieve that for themselves. So that's why they're telling you to be patient. Oh, it takes time. These things can just take time. You've got to be patient. That's bullshit. You don't have to be patient. If you understand the rules of the game, if you have the right strategies, you can play to win. Okay, and you can win relatively quickly. Okay, once you've got the right information, once you've got the right systems. Okay, so anybody who's telling you otherwise is just simply they're operating from a place of not knowing, and that's what they're accepting for themselves. But if you don't accept that for yourself, and if you know that you can go out and create things in quicker time frames, just as Brad did, just as Luana did, just as I did when I first got started, many of my other clients that I've just shown you there, your life can turn around very, very quickly once you've got the right information. So look, if you're like Brad, if you've been unable to grow your business past 5 to 10K per month, I would like to invite you to consider applying for my service, Limitless Prosperity Platinum. In that service, there's a couple of guarantees that I've got in place for you. So the first guarantee is that you make $10,000 cash collected within the first 45 days of joining the program. Within 6 months, you would have made a minimum 3 times return on investment. That's a minimum 3 times return on investment. And you'll also hit your first 20K cash month. Okay. And again, that's a cash month, not a sales value month. Okay. Now, if I fail to deliver on any of these things, then I will work with you for free until these have been achieved. Okay, so for as long as it takes until they've been achieved. So what I'm basically doing is I'm removing the risk for you. Okay, I am putting my money where my mouth is, making sure that if you choose to want to work with me, you know that you are investing into somebody that's putting everything in your favor to maximize the possibility that you are going to win and the probability that you are going to win using these systems. Okay, and that's just the confidence I have in the system. As I said, am I anything special? No, I feel I'm just kind of fortunate in the sense that the people that I've invested in, the people that I've learned from, just taught me the right things. So I've just probably by default learned the right things and not the wrong things. And as a result of that, it's just done well for me and it's done well for many of my clients. And that's probably why we've done the 7.8 million in the last 3 years. Okay. So if anything I've said resonates with you and you would like to apply for Limitless Prosperity, if making, $10,000 in the next 45 days is something that you'd like to achieve for yourself, great. Come join us. If making a minimum 3 times return on investment within a 6-month period is something you want to achieve for yourself, great. Come join us. And if you want to start making a minimum 20K to 30K cash every single month, come join us, because Limitless Prosperity Platinum is the exact service that's going to help you get there. And I would love nothing more than to be part of your journey and to help you to become one of my next success stories. So thank you for spending this time with me, guys. I hope this was valuable to you. I've broken down the exact system. Even if you choose not to work with me, absolutely fine. Go out and take action on this. Go out and run a promo cycle. Go out and make that money. And then start taking some of that money and reinvest it back into the business. Get a growth flywheel going, because once you do that in a very short space of time, your life will change. But if you want to make it a lot easier, consider coming to work with me directly, and we can 100% get you there. And I'd love nothing more than to be part of your journey.